It's Before 6 and time for Leroy Wine Guy Guilford. Before 6 is a weekly wine commentary by Leroy and his friends in the wine lifestyle world. Before 6 is brought to you in part by Tour of Temecula Map Guide, your guide to all the fun of our Southern California wine country. Available at fine retailers, restaurants, hotels, and wineries, and at TemeculaMapGuide.com. And by Grow Grapes Make Wine. Have you ever wondered, can I live the wine dream as an amateur or as a professional? Well, yes you can. Just call Leroy the Wine Guy Guilford at 951-570-3278. That's 951-570-3278.
On Before 6 this week, my guests are David and Tara Webb. Now, many food and wine shows will be talking Thanksgiving themes this week. And you know what? We're actually no different. We're definitely talking Thanksgiving, but for dreams coming true, instead of some of those food things, you know. And part of this whole story is you can do it too. So David and Tara, welcome to Before 6.
Good to be here.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having us. Yes.
Well, I want you guys to tell your story because you have an incredibly fun, some might call it serendipity and others of us might call it providence. Let's talk about how you ended up here in Southern California wine country, the property you're on right now, how you got into the wine grapes, and the whole story we're going to carry forward. So let's jump in right there.
Well, we started, had an opportunity to come out here due to a career change and due to some family out here. And when we came across this house, we was in a little bit of rough shape. We purchased it, and we discovered that there was a small vineyard on it with about 100 vines on it at the time.
And how much is the acreage you have here?
I would say about half an acre right now.
Okay, but the total acreage you have here?
3.5 acres.
3.5 acres. Okay, so you have some stuff to work with.
I do.
Okay, all right. So let's continue on with that story. So,
well, when we realized that what we had as far as the vineyard is, and I don't know, I was just thankful for the opportunity. A while back I had somebody give me a book about vineyards and about wineries, and so I took that book and began to glean some stuff from it, and I actually put my hand to the vines that were out there. I didn't use a contractor, I didn't use any other crop management services. I just put my hand to it. That first year I doubled the output. The second year, I tripled the output, the harvest of it. And then this current year that we find ourselves in is when I found that I had to find another avenue to sell my grapes.
Right. So let's talk about, so here in the Temecula Valley, you had what was Oak Mountain was buying your Grenache grapes, was that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And at that time you had another management company was actually kind of overseeing some of the farming practices. Is that my understanding right?
No, that was with the other owners.
Oh, okay. So you jumped in right from day one.
I jumped in, put my hands to it, took care of everything from the drip lines to the pruning to the harvesting, all of it.
Now I want you folks to think of this, okay? They came here. Where were you? Because you moved here from southern United States. Where were you down south?
Alabama.
Alabama. So not really great growing property, folks. So, so they jumped in, not knowing a whole lot, and he increased his wine grape farming production with putting a little green thumb of his own. So let's talk about right now, you're in the process of learning a lot because you have wine grapes that are actually harvested and making wine. But let's talk about how that came all about because that involves all of us here, Tara and David and myself. Okay.
Well, back earlier this year, many of us know that we had a lot of rain.
Right.
And due to the rain, as we were getting ready to contract with a winery, they informed us that because there was such ample rainfall this year, that Grenache was in plenty. It was plentiful in the valley. And so they told me that they were not going to be needing my vines this year. Well, that put me into the mode of trying to find an alternative.
Right.
And I contacted other wineries, I contacted other winemakers, and they weren't interested at the time because of the same reason. Grenache was in ample supply. So one day, my wife and I went down, actually you can see it from our house, Fazeli Cellars. And while we were there, I picked up a brochure, a card. We were eating lunch and got a brochure. And lo and behold, I looked at it and saw somebody that looked familiar to me. And I looked at my wife and I said, does this look like that guy at church? And she said, yes, it does. And lo and behold, that guy ended up being you, Leroy.
Lo and behold. Now, here's the fun part of the story, folks, and I'm delightful. My love, as you know, when you listen to this segment or listen to Wine Country Talk Radio in times past, is sharing people's passions and especially living their dream. And in this case, the wine industry dream, and that's all kinds of dimensions. So you had wine grapes hanging, no place to go with them, and you got a hold of me. I came the next day and looked at your vines. We kind of assessed them. And I have to make this disclaimer, folks. I am not a wine grape farmer. I am not a winemaker. I've just hung out for years and years and years with some of the best in the world. And it rubs off on you after a while. And so let's talk about what happened next.
Well, you came out, you did look at them, and gave me your assessment of them. And then you said that you knew a guy. His name is Jeff Sanders. And I know you'll talk more about him in just a second, but you put me in touch with him. He came out to the house, took a look at the grapes, and I would say within the week we were harvesting those grapes.
We took a look at the grapes on Monday, and early Friday morning that week, we were harvesting grapes.
Sure were.
And then we headed straight over to Jeff's place. He is an award-winning, astounding home winemaker with designs in the future to go commercial. And you've heard him. He's been on the show a couple times, and some of you have even called him and said, can I learn about home wine grape farming? Because that's the kind of guy Jeff is. So we took we had 779 pounds, was that we harvested that morning? Was that right?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. And that's about 2/3 of a barrel's worth, right?
Yes.
So maybe 180 to 200 cases when we get all done, possibly, right?
Yes.
Oops, now hold on, wait a minute. I meant 180 to 200 bottles, not cases. Now, you've never made wine before, correct?
Never have. New experience.
Okay, so hands-on with Jeff, side by side. And the whole point here, folks, is, yes, you can do it too. Here we are with Tara and David, and they have another fun company. Tara, talk about that real quick, because it's the holiday season, and you're doing a lot of cookie baking, right?
Yes, we have a company, it's Tangerine Cookies. We send cookies all over the United States, and this is our busiest time of the year, so we have a lot of fun with that, and I'm a homemaker at heart, and it shows in our gifting.
Well, here's what's going on next. They're deciding, well, we got some extra acreage. Maybe we should plant that. And what should we plant it? And how do we go about that? And so, yes, folks, these folks came to me, and my guests for next week as well, who are grading their property right now, for those who got to take a look on Facebook, it caused me to create Grow Grapes, Make Wine. Yeah, you just call me, Leroy the Wine Guy, at 951-570-3278. I know everybody. Well, close to, and the people you can rely on. And if you want to know how to get into living the wine dream, whether it's farming wine grapes at 50 vines or if it's 50 acres and you want to go there, you have to know where to start. And you guys found out I can help you get started, right?
Yes, you're the one who helped make this happen.
It's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
And it's a continuing saga. So when that wine actually gets in the bottle, we'll break it open and have another show and talk about that, okay?
It's an ongoing story.
You guys, thank you so much for being part of Before 6 on the Dining with Dills show with Peter Dills and Leroy Guilford.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Leroy.
You bet. Thank you.
This has been Before 6 with Leroy Wine Guy Guilford, featured every week on the Peter Dill Show. Before 6 has been brought to you in part by Tour of Temecula Map Guide, your guide to all the fun of our Southern California wine country. Available at fine retailers, restaurants, hotels, and wineries, and at TemeculaMapGuide.com. And by Grow Grapes, Make Wine. Have you ever wondered, can I live the wine dream as an amateur or as a professional? Well, yes you can. Just call Leroy the Wine Guy Guilford at 951-570-3278. That's 951-570-3278. Tour of Temecula Map Guide, the #1 source to all the fun of our Southern California wine country, now featuring expanded distribution monthly in over 250 locations throughout San Diego and the Inland Empire. Available at fine hotels, specialty shops, restaurants, wineries, and at TemeculaMapGuide.com. Headed for the fun of wine country, or maybe even our local microbreweries? Then hit TemeculaMapGuide.com or snatch up a copy at your favorite winery or shop. Tour of Temecula Map Guide, the #1 source to all the fun of our Southern California wine country.